There are two main kinds of systems that you'll see when you go shopping. One of them is your integrated home theatre systems. We call that home theatre in a box. Sometimes you hear it referred to as lifestyle systems. The other kind is separate components, in which you'll buy a number of individual pieces which are all designed to do a specific job. Probably the big disadvantage with buying the one box solutions, in fact there are probably a couple of disadvantages. One of them is that you're really locked into a level of technology. There's no way of expanding on those systems or updating them. Each piece relies on the rest of the system to operate. So they're very hard to add new technology to, for example. They're fine today, but in a couple of years' time when some new format comes along, or maybe there's a new games console released onto the market, often they won't have the connection points or the extra expandability to integrate those. So you may find that you've simply got to go back to the start and buy a whole new system. The other big problem is, because of the way the performance of these systems is designed, no part of the system really excels at doing anything. They'll do most things, but only in a pretty average way. A little bit like the old-fashioned 3-in-1s we had 20 or 30 years ago, where everything was built into the one box. And if something broke down, if the cassette player or the record player stopped working, really you lost your entire system. And people discovered after that that really the best way to buy a system for both performance and for convenience is from separate pieces. And you'll typically these days see a system that's built up from a central amplifier. They call that an AV receiver in industry jargon, and that's your connection point for all of your different components. And that's also the place where the amplification is done. That is, provides the power to the speakers in the system. To that central amplifier unit you can add whatever components you require. Most likely have a DVD player. You might have a DVD recorder. Still the old VHS recorders are very common because we've all got tapes kicking around. You can add a CD player. You can connect up your games console. There's a host of things that will plug into it. Often you can even connect up your old record player and play your old vinyl records. So there's a lot of flexibility in a component system, and each individual component is designed to do one particular job. So if it gets outdated or stops working, it's quite easy to replace it as you require. With individual components, you can choose specific pieces that will do a particular job. So for example, you might want to be able to have sound happening in two different parts of your home, and it's quite possible now to buy an amplifier or an AV receiver, using that term again, that will allow you to listen to a home theatre in multi-channel sound like you'd get at the movies in your main living area, but then in a separate part of the house, maybe in the kitchen or in the kids' rumpus room or outdoors or something like that, have a completely separate source playing, so maybe the radio, or have an iPod delivering music into that area. So if those sorts of things appeal to you and you want to be able to do that, then you simply choose the piece that will enable you to have access to that. From there, again, you can build up by adding the components that will suit exactly what you're trying to achieve. Some people want multi-disc players so they can have hours of music playing back. Other people want to be able to plug in their video camera so that they can edit their tapes down onto a DVD. So there's a whole lot of different aspects of connectivity and convenience that these separate components bring to bear. The other big benefit in a system like that is that you can choose a set of speakers that will suit your listening room perfectly. If you buy the one box solution, or you simply take the system, the speaker system that comes with it, and usually they're not very good at producing music, so if you're going to play your CDs on it, you'll probably be in for a bit of a disappointment. And if you're going to try and use it to cover all of your audio-visual needs, you'll find that it lets you down in quite a number of areas. If you choose separate components, you'll be able to choose a specialist speaker brand from a company that does nothing but build speakers, and there are many fine brands out there from all around the world. who make speakers that will give you playback that's very, very close to the original performance, and ultimately that's what you want your system to do, to sound exactly like the sound director or the recording engineer heard that recording when they first put the piece of music or indeed the movie soundtrack onto the recording itself.